Welcome back. Today is Saturday, March 7, 2026, and we are seeing some of the most significant medical breakthroughs of the year so far. From a rare gene mutation discovery at the Mayo Clinic to a new drug that cuts pediatric seizures by over 90%, today's headlines are packed. We're also diving into a major shift in India's medical education policy and the latest FDA-authorized life-saving tech. Let's get into it. Segment 1: Breakthroughs in Liver and Bone Research. Mayo Clinic's genetic discovery. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic have identified a rare mutation in the MET gene that directly causes fatty liver disease. This discovery is huge because it explains why some patients develop metabolic dysfunction even with a healthy lifestyle, opening the door for targeted gene therapies. The silent liver scan. At the same time, a new AI-driven liquid biopsy has been developed that can detect silent liver fibrosis and cirrhosis years before symptoms appear. This could be a game changer for early intervention. Regenerating bone. Over in Sweden, scientists have engineered a cell-free cartilage scaffold that acts as a blueprint, guiding the human body to actually regrow damaged bone instead of relying on rigid metal implants. Segment 2: Life-changing drug approvals and clinical trials. Rare epilepsy success. A new experimental drug, zorevunersen, has shown remarkable promise in clinical trials for children with Dravet syndrome, a severe form of epilepsy. It reduced seizures by up to 91% and significantly improved quality of life. GLP-1 beyond weight loss. We already knew about Ozempic and Wegovy for weight loss, but new data suggests these medications may help the heart recover specifically after a heart attack. Interestingly, recent findings also show weight loss from GLP-1s is significantly higher among women compared to men. Preventing diabetic blindness. Scientists have identified a protein called LRG1 that triggers the earliest stages of diabetic blindness. Blocking this protein could save the vision of millions of diabetic patients worldwide. Segment 3: FDA Watch and Medical Tech. The first anti-choking device. The US FDA has officially granted de novo classification to LifeVac, making it the first and only FDA-authorized anti-choking device. While the FDA still recommends following standard rescue protocols, like the Heimlich first, this device is now a recognized secondary option. AI for breast cancer surgery. A new AI-enabled imaging device called Claire has been authorized for use during breast cancer surgery. It helps surgeons identify residual cancer tissue in real time, reducing the need for follow-up surgeries. Generic asthma meds. Good news for the 25 million Americans with asthma. The FDA has approved the first generic of Flovent HFA. This is expected to drastically lower costs for maintenance therapy. Segment 4: Global Health and Policy News. India's education shift. The National Commission for Allied and Healthcare Professions (COP) has announced that NEET UG will not be mandatory for physiotherapy (BPT) or occupational therapy (BOT) admissions for the 2026-27 year. This requirement has been deferred until 2027-28, giving students and institutions more breathing room. Breast cancer in India. Experts at an oncology conference in Kolkata warned today that breast cancer cases in India have more than doubled in the last 30 years. They are calling for urgent improvements in access to treatment to match these rising numbers. Chile's historic milestone. The World Health Organization (WHO) has officially verified Chile as the first country in the Americas to eliminate leprosy. Segment 5: Pro Tips and Looking Ahead. The forever chemical problem. New research indicates that PFAS, found in nonstick pans and food packaging, are linked to rapid biological aging. The best defense against Alzheimer's? A major study out this week suggests that exercise may sharpen the mind by prompting the liver to release an enzyme that removes toxic proteins causing the disease. Upcoming approvals. Keep an eye on orforglipron, a new oral weight loss drug that doesn't require the strict timing of current pills. An FDA decision is expected later this month. Science Daily. Chile becomes the first country in the Americas to be verified by WHO for the elimination of leprosy. Quick snippets. RSV and antibiotics. Key takeaways. Viral and bacterial infections. Overlapping symptoms and signs can complicate RSV diagnosis and lead to unnecessary antibiotic prescriptions. In this study, children who had RSV detected via a rapid antigen test had a 48% lower likelihood of receiving antibiotics within 14 days of diagnosis. Overall, 20% of the kids who tested positive for RSV received at least one antibiotic prescription compared with 40% of those testing negative. MedPage Today. GFAP and NFL. Timely identification of acute brain injury, ABI, in children receiving extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, ECMO, support is critical for early neuroprotective interventions. Objectives to determine if elevations in plasma glial fibrillary acidic protein, GFAP, neurofilament light chain, NFL, and tau levels in children receiving ECMO precede new ABI confirmed by neuroimaging, and if they are associated with mortality and functional outcomes. Results suggest that GFAP and NFL may be promising candidates for real-time neurologic monitoring in children receiving ECMO and may aid in diagnosis, association with outcomes, and potentially guiding neuroprotective strategies. JAMANetwork.com. GLP-1 agents. Initiation of GLP-1 drugs was associated with a 14% lower risk of developing new substance use disorders compared with SGLT2 inhibitors in veterans. Veterans with pre-existing substance use disorders initiating GLP-1 drugs also had significantly lower risks of several related adverse outcomes. Observational findings alone aren't enough to prescribe a GLP-1 agent specifically to prevent or treat substance use disorders just yet, researchers said. Medscape. Outro and CTA. Which of these breakthroughs do you think will have the biggest impact? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for your daily dose of science. Stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Disclaimer: this video is for informational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Use the information only after verification. No liability accepted.